So the Monster Hunter Wilds beta has ended. From insanely optimized performance
Bye-bye.
to the special N64 version provided to anyone with less than an RTX 4090. Yeah, this game is gonna be crazy. Personally, I spent my time mastering the hunting horn, and boy do I have some things to show you. This, for the most part, will be an attempt at a truly informative video. That's right, real facts from me to you. I'm going to cover even the most basic parts of the horn, so if you just want to see what's new, please observe the video chapters below. Happy hunting in the future. So when standing idle with the horn, you have 3 standard moves that generate 3 corresponding notes. Triangle swing from the left to right, circle swing from the right to left, and a triangle circle swing. Each of these moves can be input whilst holding forward to output a unique move. Triangle swing is a forward slam. Circle swing is a roundabout swing that hits twice, and triangle circle swing is an overhead slam that also impacts twice. The special thing about the last two is the ability to input a secondary note during the latter half of the animation, meaning you can develop songs quicker. More on that later. By pressing the R2 button, you can perform a recital. The recital can also be input with a direction to alter the move. The difference being that there is 6 versions of the recital: forward, backward, left, right, static, and the 6th we will cover in just a moment. To make inputting the left, right, and backwards recitals from static easier, you can now enter focus mode, as this will lock your aim forwards. Trying to do a backwards recital from static will almost always lead to a left or right recital without doing so. The 6th recital is the fastest and most essential. It can only be performed after a hilt stab. A hilt stab is done by pulling back on the stick after any normal move and inputting another normal move. This will perform a hilt stab. Add the note to the song chart and allow for the fast recital, where you swing the horn up into the air extremely quickly. The hilt stab does severing damage, meaning in theory, you could cut a tail with it. You probably won't, but you could. And that is about it for the bare basics. Most things from here on out will be relatively new in some way or another, so all the people who skipped the boring part will miss out on this sick-ass image I found the other day. That'll teach them. Slime. Input some notes in order to cue up a melody. Self-improvement is essential and has 2 levels, providing damage and move speed, but only to yourself. Performing this melody in a recital will grant 1 level. Perform it again, and you will receive the 2nd. Oh shit, thank you, Play School. The efficient way to do this is to perform an encore. In Wilds, I advise you to always press triangle and circle to perform an encore, for a reason I'll get into later. You'll do a flashy dance, and the melodies you initially performed will all be cast again, allowing for up to 6 melodies per recital. When you have 3 melodies prepared, there's also some new moves you can weave in between. After each melody is cast, inputting the recital button slips in an extra attack, which can move the hunter in the held direction. Doing this in focus mode allows for easy tracking of the monster, or evading if necessary too. Next up is an entirely new move. The Echo Bubble is a dance that will place a buffing bubble on the terrain. Presumably different horns will provide different buffs, but during the beta this bubble provides increased evasion window and movement speed, making the hunting horn one of the fastest weapons in the game while fully buffed. The other major utility this move provides is the ability to store notes during the dance. Once complete, any move used while standing in the bubble will trigger residual shockwaves, so try casting the Echo Bubble near to a downed monster's head, or in areas where you predict your team will be doing a lot of attacking. Next up is a major new mechanic in Wilds, the offset melody. The hunting horn's offset attack is... it's cumbersome and awkward, but of course strong when used properly. This melody is stored in a slot of its own and cannot be performed during regular recitals. It will not take up a melody slot, so it's always a good idea to have it on deck, just in case. In order to perform the offset melody, you will need to press triangle, circle, and R2 all at the same time. If done properly, you will swing the horn around in a forward movement, deflecting damage and knockback. You can also hold the recital button to wait a bit longer in anticipation for an attack. Lastly is the hunting horn's unique focus move, used when a wound is opened on the monster. I'll cover this move in more detail during the demonstration event too. But that's the essentials of using the new and improved monster tutor. But what about actual use case strategy and techniques? Don't you worry, I've got that covered. And it just so happens that our first demonstration toad has arrived. Immediately, we can see the power of echo bubbles in combination with a recital and some echo wave melodies, toppling the 𝙃𝙀𝙏𝙍𝙏. With a wound conveniently opened on its head and arms, we can demonstrate the focus strike. Upon contact with a wound, you can input up to 5, maybe even 6 notes during the animation. Like most focus strikes, this ability is extremely strong and often leads to a flinch or topple. Here we can also see my one and only clip of performing the offset attack correctly. Pretty sure it wasn't even trying to hit me, but that's beyond the point. So here I pull all the moves together with a solid KO, placing the echo bubble near its head and performing a 2-song recital to refresh self-improvement and inflict heavy damage with the echo wave melody. This opens a wound again, meaning I can store more melodies and deal more damage. At least that's what would have happened if I didn't fat finger all of my inputs. Fuck. And off he goes. The rest of this hunt is a little unhelpful, but I do knock him off with a small barrel bomb, which was a little bit funny. Turns out, being informative feels kinda good sometimes. I'm sure in my next video, I'll be just as useful, helpful, and... Who the fuck was that guy? Giving out like real information or some shit? Weird, man. Weird. Anyway, regardless of all that nonsense, next video we're going to get back to this regularly scheduled programming. And I'd also like to give a quick shout out to the channel members for sticking with me even though things have been a little bit slow. I might speed up, I might not. It's hard to say at this point. Just know that I appreciate it, and I might even make benefits to being a channel member soon. Maybe. Goodbye.